Hi everyone and Happy New Year. Welcome to the first Halton Hills housing update of 2021. Today we're going to recap what happened in December, we're going to recap what happened in all of 2020, and we'll take a quick look at what happened last week, even though, as I spoke about, it is our slowest sales week of the year, so nothing crazy. So let's look at our December numbers. December of 2019, we had 46 units sell and our average price was at $767,000. No surprise, our December numbers took a huge jump this year. Again, it was one of our busiest, if not our busiest Decembers ever. So these numbers do not surprise me. We had 62 units sell, which is up 34% since last year. Our average price was $945,000, so that's up 23% year over year. We have been sitting pretty consistently since August around that $950 average price. I actually think it would have been higher if we had seen more listings coming up in that $1 million+ price point, but there was just not much to buy. So the real story of 2020 is just what our market did year over year. We know that we had a wild 2020, especially July onward. It was something we'd never really seen. But I took a look at the 2019 entire year numbers versus 2020, and we are up significantly. So in 2019, the Halton Hills average price was $768,680. In 2020, our overall average price is up to $924,616. So that means if you owned a home in Georgetown this year, it went up 20%. That number both surprises me and doesn't. Like, to see just a year over year increase of 20% is wild, but no surprise because prices have just continued to climb and climb. And I do think the story for 2021, at least for the first half, is going to be the same thing. So I think that average price point is really going to creep around the $1 million mark for the first bit of the year, assuming inventory in that price range comes available. So now let's look at last week's sales. So in Georgetown last week, we had 4 properties sell, which is a super low number. Again, slowest sales week typically of the year is the week between Christmas and New Year's. And we had 4 new properties enter the market. So some movement on both sides, but nothing dramatic. In Acton, 2 properties sold, but no new listings. And in Glen Williams, Limehouse, and the rural markets, we had no new listings and no sales. So again, super quiet week. The real situation here continues to be our inventory levels. We are starting this year at our lowest inventory that we have seen. We have 50 active listings. 6 of them are sold conditional. So in all of Halton Hills, there are technically 44 properties available. That is very low. And my hope is that it only goes up from here because the buyers are here and we need to see some inventory hit the market like yesterday. In Georgetown this week, we only have 20 active listings. I cannot imagine it going lower than this, but it might. But that is where we are starting the year, is only 20 available listings in all of Georgetown. Under 700 has some stuff available with 6 active listings, a mix of freehold and condo, but those usually sell very quickly, so I imagine that number will drop next week. 800,000, we have 1 property available. So if you're looking in that price point, that's not great news. Between 800 and $1 million, we are up to 2 active listings this week. That price point, all the price points really are a problem right now. 800 to $1 million is one of our busier price points. So that inventory being at 2 is a problem. And again, the story has been our $1 million+ listings. We are now down because some listings expired last week to 11 active listings over $1 million in all of Georgetown. This price point has been super, super busy, and we were up around the 25 to 30 mark. So being at 11 listings in this price point is terrible news for the buyers that are trying to move up into Georgetown. In Acton this week, we are down to 8 active listings, and half of those are over $1 million. So really not a lot available in those price points that are busier in Acton, which is our under $1 million price point. Glen Williams remained the same at 3 active listings. Limehouse is at 2, and the rural market is the same at 17, which we've been talking about is still quite a low number for the rural market. We had a couple of big sales weeks in December for the rural market, so that number is sitting much lower than we are used to there. So there's your first update for January of 2021. No surprise that our numbers are shockingly up, especially in terms of average price. Our market overall being up 20% is wild. And so I'm going to be putting out a video later this week with a couple of predictions that I have for 2021. I don't even know if you can predict these things anymore, but I'm going to put it out for the sake of maybe being historically correct, or maybe who knows where this is all going to go and I'll be completely wrong. Either way, look for that later this week. We are, again, going to be following these numbers closely this year. They continue to surprise me, and we need inventory. So I cannot stress enough, if you have been thinking about selling your house, I don't know that there could be a better time than right now with inventory being where it's at. So I'll be back next Tuesday to see what happens this first week of January. Have a great week, everyone.